When you take tests, do you get anxiety? Do you get stress? If you do, that's okay because every single student has experienced this at one time or another. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be this way. And that's why I'm going to give you 3 tips to help you reduce your anxiety and stress when it comes to taking tests. So let's get started. So the first tip I have for you is very simple and obvious, but it's probably the most important one. And that is prepare and study for your tests ahead of time. That's it. So 90% of students probably wait until the last minute the day before to actually study for the test. And of course, when you do this, you're going to be stressed out and worried because you're trying to cram a whole bunch of information into one night, into one day. You're not giving yourself enough time to actually quiz yourself a day or two later to see if you actually could recall it still. And so you don't want to wait until the last minute to start studying and preparing because you don't have confidence when you get into the test. You're like, wait, I didn't study that one topic. Hopefully it's not on the test, or if it is, am I going to be able to even answer it? And so you start to worry a lot. And that's what comes with the lack of preparation. But if you start preparing, you're going to have so much confidence when you get into that test. You're like, come on, bring the test on. I'm ready. And I know how that feeling is. And it's amazing when you study and you're prepared. You're like, woo, I can take that test on. And so my friend, for my very first memory competition, gave me a card I take with me to every competition I ever go to. And it's what he wrote to me that's really stuck to me. And I think about all the time when I'm competing. And what he wrote was this. He said, a wise man once said, the only time one is nervous is when he isn't prepared. The only time one is nervous is when he isn't prepared. And that's so true because if you're going to a test and you're nervous and you're stressed out, clearly you didn't prepare for it. Because if you did, you would have confidence that you know all the material, you know all the information, and this test is going to be a piece of cake. And so that's my first tip for you. Tip number 1, prepare and study for your test well before the test is here. Okay? So now for my second tip. My second tip is if you don't know a problem, and if you're 100% sure you don't know a problem on a test, a question, skip it and don't even come back to it. Okay? If you know for sure you don't know the answer to a question, skip it and don't even come back to it. So let me explain what I mean by this. Now there's this basic strategy that says, skip the hard problems and come back to them if you have time, right? But what I'm saying is, if you're going through the test, you get to a question, you're like, whoa, I have no clue how to do this. I swear we didn't even learn this in class. Skip it, but don't even come back to it because so many students like to try to figure out, like, no. I could come up with something to figure out, right? If I work on it long enough, something's going to come. The answers are going to come eventually. But that's not true because the thing is, you know if you know something or not. When you look at a question and you're like, no clue, just skip it. Because what happens is if you do focus on that question and you work on it, you're like, man, no, something's going to come up still. And you look up to the clock, you're like, oh my God, I have 20 minutes left for 30 questions. Now you're rushing through 30 different questions. You have less than a minute per question to answer the question. And you're going to do poorly on the test because you might make some mistakes now because you're in stress. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? Oh, I think that's right. Let's move on. Because stress is the worst thing for your memory. When you start stressing out, you can't focus on what you're doing. Your mind starts to run and think in a million different places, and you can't just concentrate on the question itself anymore. You're just totally lost. And so that's why you don't want to work on a problem that you have no clue how to solve, no clue how to answer. But if you do have enough time, if you went through the whole test and you have enough time at the end, go back to these questions that you have no clue and put something. You're only putting something down for partial credit. You're not trying to hope for the right answer. You're trying to hope for partial credit. And so that's my second tip for you. If you don't know the answer to a question, skip it and don't come back to it. Unless you have extra time to put partial credit. Okay? Now for my third tip. My third tip is once you have taken a test, don't even think about it. Okay? Don't even give it a second thought. So what happens is after you take a test, you like to talk to your friends about the questions, right? You're like, hey, what'd you get for this? What'd you get for that? So say this happens, for example. Like, hey, what'd you get for number 5? Oh, for number 5, I got da-da-da-da-da. You're like, are you sure that's right? You're like, yeah, I'm 100% sure. I remember reading it on page 57 of the history book. You're like, oh my God, I got it wrong. And so what happens from here is you start to think about every single question, and if you got it right or wrong, or if you messed up, you're like, wait, what about 7? Did I do that one right? What about 25? Oh, wait, I might have messed up on 25. Great. And so you start to get stressed and worried by like, oh my God, am I going to pass the test? Am I going to do well on it? But the thing is, the test is gone. It's done. You finished the test. You can't change what happened on the test. You can't change your answer. So worrying about the test, you're just wasting your time and your energy. You're just wasting your time and energy. It makes no point to even do it. So after you take a test, don't even talk about it. Don't even talk to your friends about it. Just go on with your life. Because you'll be so much better if you're not worrying about a test that you can't do anything about. But even if you do mess up on a test, okay? Even if you mess up on half the test and you do worry about it, you should be having a positive mindset, not a negative mindset. You'd be like, you know what? I messed up on this test, but the next test I'm going to take, I'm going to study a lot longer. I'm going to study a lot sooner as well. I'm going to be more prepared for it, right? Going back to tip 1. I'm going to prepare for the next test a lot better than I did for this test. Because once you do that, then you're going to start changing your whole dynamic when it comes to actually studying and preparing for your test. So you're not going to be anxious or stressed out the next time a test comes around. So that's my third tip for you. Once the test has happened, once you have taken the test, forget about it. Don't even think about it at all. If you do that, believe me, you're going to sleep so much better that night, and you're not going to beat yourself up when you're going back to your room or your house like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. You're not going to beat yourself up, okay? And so there you go. Those are my 3 tips to help you reduce your anxiety and stress when it comes to taking tests. Hopefully you found this information useful and try it out the next time a test is coming up, because you're going to be grateful when you're not worrying and stressing out about tests and that you're actually using that time and energy to do something more productive or more fun. Believe me, there's going to be a million tests out there. Even if you mess up on one test, that's okay. This is the next one that you could do better on. And I'll see you next time.
Subscribe to my channel for more videos on memory techniques, how to do better in school, memory challenges, updates, and much more. Also remember to click the notification bell so you know when I upload a video. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are down below in the description. You also can check out these videos. If you want to learn all the memory techniques and learn how to apply them to all sorts of information, or if you want to start competing in memory competitions, you can check out my programs down below in the description. Look forward to my next video and get ready to get the best memory of your life.